one more drink, one more party, one more dance. All the while we're thinking that we're making these decisions for ourselves. And I'm here to say that there's only two paths that we could take in this life. There's a course for the world, and then a course for heaven. It's very important to make your calling and your election sure early on in your journey. Don't be led in the way of death, thinking that you are making the right decisions and that you're only hurting yourself. You're hurting everyone, because everyone is looking for that hope that abides within you. We're all God's creatures. It was God's decision to make us and to allow us to abide in the fullness of His Word. Don't choose the path of death. Choose the path of life. Stay tuned for this message entitled, The Course of This World. Prince of the power of the air. This coming from Ephesians 2, verse 1 through 3. It says in verse 1, "And you have He quickened, who were dead in trespasses and sins." Okay, so I want to stop there because you understand that I always say it. God has given us life, and He has allowed us to abide in this life and have it more abundantly. And for some people, you may not understand what that means. You may not understand life and death in the sense of God, because we see everyone living. We see everyone having fun. We see everyone choosing their course, their path in which they want to take in this life. But there are many people who think that they are making those decisions, and they're really not. You know, you're dead, you're living, and really you're dead. And what I mean by that is you think that you're having fun, you think that you're really enjoying life, and really you're not. You're going to the same party, you know, you're having the same types of fun, you're hanging around the same types of people. Although it may be a different night, although it may be a different party house, you're really doing the same things when it boils down to it. So one day, just God decides to quicken you. You know, you look at life in a different aspect, a different way. You understand that, you know, tomorrow's not promised to anyone. You realize that God is real. And that one drink that, you know, allowed you to lie in a hospital bed and now you're awake, it wasn't because of the doctors, but it was because of grace and mercy. So you abide in Him, and now you're looking for more of Him. So let's keep reading in 2, where it says, "Where in time past you walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience." So I want to talk about this a little bit more in depth, because you may not understand what he's talking about when he says the prince of the power of the air. He's speaking about the devil. Before Jesus Christ came, we were under that power. Whatever we wanted to do, we couldn't do. We could have looked at the Jews, we could have admired them all we wanted to, but there was no way for us to attain what they had attained. The glory, the strength, the power, the ordinances, all these things is stuff that we admired. But, you know, while we admired these things, we were left to abide in darkness. We were wallowing in the mire of the clay. We wanted more, but we didn't understand how to get more. Matter of fact, the knowledge of getting more was even blocked out of our minds because the light wasn't given unto us, interpreted Jesus Christ. So they had God walking with them. We read about this. It says a fire, a cloud by day, and a fire by night. And now we have Jesus Christ who abides within us and guides us through the very word. And it has been manifested within our hearts, and as he says in the Old Testament, but now it has been revealed in the New, that it's now written on the fleshy tables of our heart. And that's how we receive Jesus Christ in our life. So now the Spirit is activated, the Spirit of God. And so now you also understand that there's two spirits that abide in this world. There's one that leads to life and one that leads to death. So you're thinking that, hey, you know, I'm making my own decisions, and I decided not to listen to my parents, and I decided not to listen to God, and I decided not to read the Bible and go in the pathway of righteousness, but I'm really only affecting myself, and these are all my decisions. No. When you chose to be disobedient to the Word of God, you gave up life. And if you give up life, you're dead, yet you're living. So while you're walking in this world and you're just going from relationship to relationship and you're trying to find out and find happiness and you think it resides in one more drink or one more party or one more night, you realize that I'm not feeling good about this. In fact, you're feeling dirty. You're feeling that, you're not going in the right path at all. And that if someone doesn't help you, you're going to die in these sins. So God quickens you. Whether you're listening to this message or you heard him years ago, I'm still here to revive that. In 3 it says, among whom also we all had our conversation in times past, in the lust of our flesh, fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and were by nature the children of wrath, even as others. So you may think, when you're thinking to yourself and you're saying, you know what, I want to go to this party tonight and I want to have fun and I want to relax because I studied real hard this week and I passed all my tests and it's time for me to just relax. And for parents, we sometimes think that, wow, our children are going through so much and they have so many weights that are on them and so much pressure and they really do need to relax. We have to be careful what we say because the definition of relaxation is different when you're taking it from the world versus from God. Relaxation for the people of God is when they come home and they have food on the table and maybe you decided to help them out with their chores this night and you allowed them to, stay up a little bit longer and maybe watch a movie with them or, play a game together or just speak and ask about your days and maybe, not go on the computer late at night because you have work as parents, but you decided to turn off the computer and just spend a day with them. These are the things that the children need. This is how they're raised up in the fear of the Lord, that they understand right from wrong and good and evil. But when we have relaxation in the sense of the world, they think that they should go out with their friends and they should party and, they could come home about 1 to 2 o'clock in the morning, and that's fine because you believe that you raised up your child in the way that they should go. But just remember that they're not directed by their own will when you send them out. They're directed by the prince of the power of the air. So while they abide with you, where the 2s and the 3s are gathered together in his name, God is in the midst. So God is there when he abides or when they abide with you. But when you send them out in the world with their friends late at night, this is now the prince of the power of the air. You have now sent them from the atmosphere of God into the atmosphere of the world. And that's where you see a lot of the children of God leaning to their own understanding and getting hurt. I'm not here to condemn anyone, but I'm definitely here to say that you're hurting. They may be able to live another day, but those experiences, those feelings, they abide almost feels like forever. So just understand that we are having this conversation not only with our flesh, but the flesh is ordained and governed by the things of this world. And if we don't quicken ourselves or have someone there to quicken us, we'll keep falling into the same sins over and over again.